Mr. and Mrs. Dursley of number 4, Privet Drive, were proud to say that they were perfectly normal. Thank you very much. I'm going to have a lot of fun with Dudley this summer. Not for the first time, an argument had broken out over breakfast at number 4, Privet Drive. And together they walked back through the gateway to the Muggle world. Harry Potter was a highly unusual boy in many ways, and, grinning broadly at the look of horror on Uncle Vernon's face, Harry set off toward the station exit, Hedwig rattling along in front of him for what looked like a much better summer than the last. The villagers of Little Hangleton still called it the Riddle House, even though it had been many years since the Riddle family had lived there. As Hagrid had said, what would come, and he would have to meet it when it did. The hottest day of the summer so far was drawing to a close, and a drowsy silence lay over the large, square houses of Privet Drive. Instead, he smiled, raised a hand in farewell, turned around, and led the way out of the station toward the sunlit street with Uncle Vernon, Aunt Petunia, and Dudley hurrying along in his wake. It was nearing midnight, and the Prime Minister was sitting along in his office, reading a long memo that was slipping through his brain without leaving the slightest trace of meaning behind. His hand closed automatically around the fake Horcrux, but in spite of everything, in spite of the dark and twisting path he saw stretching ahead for himself, in spite of the final meeting with Voldemort he knew must come, whether in a month, in a year, or in 10, he felt his heart lift at the thought that there was still one last golden day of peace left to enjoy with Ron and Hermione. The two men appeared out of nowhere, a few yards apart in the narrow, moonlit lane. The scar had not pained Harry for 19 years. All was well.